Live, local, late breaking. WMBF News starts with breaking news.
Today will mark a very horrific day in the annals of the Florence Police Department.
Front of Vintage driving Half Mile Road, have an officer down.
Suspect inside the residence opened fire on the investigators.
240, let us know that this time the patient is going to be behind the residence and the suspect was still firing.
These officers went there unknowing the firepower the suspect had.
This situation is not getting any better. Please stay out of Vintage Place until we call.
Just keep our officers and our agencies in your prayers.
The prayers of every human being who knows the Lord Jesus Christ to pray for these officers.
Thanks for joining us for WMBF News at 11 as we continue our breaking news coverage tonight. I'm Meredith Heeline.
I'm Eric Weisfeld. It has been a tough night here. One officer dead, 6 others injured along with 1 civilian. This is a story we've been bringing you since it first broke around 5 o'clock this evening, and we've continued to stay at the scene as more developments have emerged. We have team coverage now from Florence County. Ian Klein with the emotional update from officials at McLeod Regional Medical Center.
Patrick Lloyd, who spoke with a mother who heard the gunshots and caught them on camera.
Max McGee with reaction from across the nation, a breakdown on what we're seeing on social media tonight.
Ania Watson, who was the first of our crew members to arrive on the scene this afternoon. She's breaking down what we know at this point. Nia.
First, though, we now know the identity of the officer who was killed today. This man, Terrence Caraway, is the Florence officer who died from his injuries. Florence County Coroner says he was just 52 years old from Darlington. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. An autopsy will be conducted tomorrow at MUSC. City of Florence spokesman John Wakila says Caraway died and just received his 30-year service pin from the department.
Another sad update as details from the situation continue to develop. Our team coverage starts with Nia Watson tonight. And
Nia, you've been on the scene for more than 6 hours now. Give us some context as to what's going on right now and what we know now about this situation.
Eric, I'm still here on the scene off Hoffmeyer Road across from a Vintage Place neighborhood where the shooting happened. Now, looking around, you can see that the scene has definitely cleared up, except for the police officers at the entrance of the neighborhood there. But Florence County Sheriff Kenny Boone says authorities were serving the suspect a warrant when shots were fired. At 5 this evening, authorities reported a female deputy shot during an active shooting situation. And at 6, county officials tweeted the active shooting was over and the suspect was in custody at that time. Now, right now, we know that 8 people in total were shot. One of those people, a Florence City police officer, like you stated earlier, is dead. And earlier, Florence County officials very emotional, thanking everyone for the quick response to the situation.
Gunfire started. Several officers were hit. And I want to thank Florence Police Department. Those guys were they were minutes away and assisted us as well. You know, it's great when you do have that relationship with other officers and other agencies that you call them for help, and we can work as one entity.
As coming up, you'll hear from more people who live in the area on their thoughts coming home to this devastating scene. For now, live in Florence County, Nia Watson at WMBF News.
Now we go to Ian Klein live at McLeod Regional Medical Center, where several of the injured officers are being treated tonight.
And Ian, you had the chance to hear from both law enforcement and Florence Mayor Stephen Wakila.
That is correct, and you heard Nia talk about the emotion that everyone was going through, and those emotions came all the way here. Much quieter this evening. Earlier we saw officers and family members all hugging and crying. We also heard from Florence Police Chief Alan Heidler, who showed those raw emotion, asking for everyone's prayers and support.
Today will mark a very horrific day in the annals of the Florence Police Department. Today we lost a good friend of mine, an officer that I've known for 30 years.
In total, 7 law enforcement officers were shot, 3 deputies from the Florence County Sheriff's Office and 4 officers from the Florence Police Department.
We know that at times this is a dangerous job, and our deputies readily and bravely accept that challenge.
We ask for your prayers for the wounded and their families at this time.
Outside agencies were brought in to assist with the investigation. Florence County Sheriff Kenny Boone described the scene.
You know, these officers witnessed something, seeing their fellow officers stuffed down. Fire was being shot all over. The way the suspect was positioned, his view of fire was several hundred yards.
Florence Mayor Stephen Wakila assuring people of Florence one thing tonight.
The community is safe tonight. Those in Vintage Place and throughout the community should know that you're safe. And you're safe because of those officers and deputies who are willing and have been willing and are continue to be willing to put their self in harm's way.
We will take care of our family because this is my family. These officers are my family. We will take care of them and we will take care of their loved ones. But I want you to please pray for these officers and their speedy recovery. Pray for the family who lost the bravest police officer that I have ever known.
And we have not received any more information about the deputies or officers that are at the hospital at this moment being treated. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the night and into tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Florence, Ian Klein, WMBF News.
Continuing our team coverage now, a woman who lives near the site of the shooting captured a pretty scary moment on her cell phone this evening.
Patrick Lloyd is live on Hoffmeyer Road with her story tonight. Patrick.
Yeah, Shannon McGurn lives just down the road from here. Her neighborhood actually connects to the neighborhood where the shooting happened. She heard those gunshots go off, and so she pulled out her phone to record that moment. You're going to hear it in just a second here. McGurn had actually just gotten home from work and picked up her daughter when she started hearing a few shots here and there. She says at first she didn't think much of it because there's a field nearby where she hears gunshots go off every now and then. But she says her friend who lives in the neighborhood where it happened called her and told her she needed to go find a safe place in the house because there was a shooter nearby. So she did just that. Take a listen first to the gunshots in her video and then her reaction.
Hearing the gunshots that I heard at the rapid rate that they were firing, and it seemed to go on and on and on. You know, that was all I could think about, is that here are these men and women that are underpaid, and they're walking, running, whatever, up to this house right in the line of fire.
I'll have more on McGurn's experience a little bit later on in our show this evening. For now, reporting live in Florence County, Patrick Lloyd, WMBF News.
And as this situation unfolded, we saw an outpouring of support on social media.
Our Max McGee has been in the newsroom monitoring reaction online tonight. He joins us now with what he's found. Max.
News of the deadly shooting spread across social media quickly, from locally to around the nation. Many sent their thoughts and prayers to Florence County tonight. The President of the United States retweeting Governor McMaster saying, quote, "My thoughts and prayers are with the Florence County Sheriff's Office and with the Florence Police Department tonight in South Carolina. We are forever grateful what our law enforcement officers do 24/7, 365. President Trump is just 2 weeks removed from visiting Horry County. Governor Henry McMaster in a two-part tweet saying, quote, "This is simply devastating news from Florence. The selfless acts of bravery from the men and women in law enforcement is real, just like the power of prayer is real." He went on to say, "Peggy and I ask you pray for them, pray for their recovery, pray for their families, and pray for all of Florence." South Carolina Governor candidate James Smith saying, "All of the people of South Carolina have suffered a loss as one who was devoted to protecting our safety has been taken from us in a senseless act." Congressman Tom Rice retweeted WMBF News on Twitter saying, quote, "This is absolutely devastating. We're staying updated and sending our prayers to the police officers and their families." Senator Lindsey Graham saying he spoke with Florence Mayor Steve Wakila. "We stand by ready to help in any way we can." Our area was already in the hearts and minds of many around the country with the devastation many are facing from Hurricane Florence, and now again with the shooting. What our local agencies are saying about this latest tragedy. Just a few minutes.
And we do want to get a quick check of your forecast and break down those changes here in a few more minutes.
Recapping our breaking news, 8 people were shot, 1 officer was killed Our coverage on this deadly shooting in the PD continues late into the night. You're taking a live look at the scene right now. You can see officers are still there. Their lights are still on. Neil Watson has another live report coming up in just 3 minutes.